Well, well. Find ourselves here once again, and hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another game development live stream. The last one that I'm probably going to be doing, at least regularly scheduled for some time, as well, I just hit something. Well, yeah, things are coming to a close here at the school year, so I'll be in a much different situation. Maybe I'll get. Oh god, I gotta do stuff to get an actual job. I really gotta get applying for jobs. Anyhow, that's besides the point of this stream. Yikes. Yeah, I guess we could start getting into it. Also, I won't not doing webcam today because today's been kind of hot and humid for me, and yeah, I don't want to go through the effort of putting up all that the green screen and all the lights and stuff for the fact that I'm not going to have all that good of an experience. So we're just gonna deal with it off for now. But yes, today I am going to finally move towards actually doing an entity thing that's going to be final for the actual game. So the title is technically, or the title and thumbnail are technically not wrong. A big part of it's actually going to be making the actual NPC AI. It's not going to be really AI, obviously. It's just going to be a simple, movement algorithm, kind of exploration-ish stuff. But I realize I also have a bunch of other stuff to do. Like I have to figure out how is collisions with the player going to work for killing this entity versus the entity killing the player, because that's going to be stuff. Anyhow, enough of all this rambling. Let's actually get to it. So, oh yeah, also with no, that's not important. No, let's get to it. So first thing we're gonna need to do is gonna need to make a class for this entity, and this entity is going to be the generic goon. It's kind of weird that it's taken until World 2 to actually get any NPC enemies in the level for you to deal with, but we got to easy into the basics. You're learning stuff slowly. First, you're learning about controlling the stuff. Then you get more controlling the stuff in the second set. Then you learn that there's like a third dimension to stuff. After that, I don't know. You start talking to a fucking pirate. There's just that maze of portals. That one's fun. What else? And then you get logic and stuff, and then there's whatever the heck the end of the first world is. But hey, that's where story comes in also, I guess. This level will also drive forth the story a bit, or the next levels will a bit, I hope. I kind of just got to think of it. The story's going to be very weak in this game. I'm just thinking, it's more about the gameplay anyway. The story's just kind of in there. There's a reason why we're jumping through these areas instead of just, why not? Like the original Super Mario Bros. Why not? Anyhow, let's actually get writing some code here. So, extends the stage entity. And then there's a lot of methods I'm going to have to implement. Goon. Extends stage entity. There's a crap ton of. Is it gonna? Oh, let's just run this. There it goes. Why is it not giving me the red underline? That's kind of annoying. All right, that's a good place to start, I guess. Object. I'll just call this data. Or else I'm going to need to import. No, there it goes. Thing dot data dot star. There we go. Wait, now it doesn't care. Oh, it's only caring about this. God damn it! Only caring about this line. All right. But anyhow, this thing says create, so public stage entity create JSON B object data. I don't remember what I called it, but just return new goon where we enter data in there. Pretty simple. I will of course flesh this thing out later once we get to more of the different methods and shit that actually require me to load stuff. Actually, I'm also going to need to create a proper constructor that is x int y z. Alright, there's also that constructor for when we're actually placing them in. The goon is going to be a pretty simple enemy, as you might know. It's going to just be basically... Actually, I could probably explain what it's going to do. I don't know what the 3D behavior of this is going to be. I don't know what the 3D anything of this is going to be, now that I think about it. But in 2D, it's just going to try wandering back and forth along whatever platform it's on. And when it reaches an edge, we're going to do edge detection, that'll be fun. It's going to just turn around and start heading the other way. So it's going to be a pretty simple AI, all things considered. Oh, I guess you could put AI in quotes. It's quote AI. It's not a real AI. Not even machine learning. It's just just a CPU. Anyhow, what does it want us to create now? I know there's a lot that we have to implement here. Hey, that's a thing? Also, these should be floats. Float X, float Y, float, oh, Z. Really? Hold up. I need to go... Oh no, right. The entity is what has... I have so many classes here, and there's not really good organization. Like, yes, I could technically figure out where on the top they are, but once you get beyond, like, your screen's width of classes, processing doesn't... Or once you get beyond a certain number of classes or files, processing doesn't show the names up top, which would be really useful. And once more, they'll only go this small, so once you get past the top here, they don't even... It doesn't even, like, show the rest of them. Anyhow. We technically have to implement literally all of this. So I will actually... I actually did some documentation here. Wow, I'm proud of myself. All right, I will just preemptively put all this stuff here, but just remove the keyword abstract, because we are, of course, going to actually implement all of these. Once again, the way I've architected, this class class system is that the superclasses don't actually provide any data storage, only methods for interacting with the data. It's up to the individual implementing class itself to choose what exactly is going to be, or how it's going to handle all the data. For now, everything that requires a thing to be returned is just going to return null. Or equivalent, I guess. Turn... Okay, again. Actually, something I should do is when you're placing an entity down, especially once, like, custom entities become a thing that I'll allow people to add, it really should just, like, check that there's an actual 2D hitbox, or, yeah, 2D is all that really matters. Just check that there's actually a 2D hitbox that the entity could actually use. Return this. I guess this is the exception to the null. This is the exception to returning null. Is when we can return this, because that's going to be the final return value. Return 0, which is basically the equivalent to null. Okay. Oh no, this. Hang on, sorry. Whoops, that should not be 0, that should be this. This is just going to return false. I mean, that is the final value for that. In 3D, I'm also going to just have that as false for now. Oop. Because I do not know what's going to happen, all things considered, for the rendering. Rendering-wise, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to do a 3D component to this entity, because I actually don't know what the actual, or how. I'm currently unsure of how the AI should behave in 3D, because in 2D it's quite obvious, you just walk from end to end of the platform, but what do you do in 3D? Do you just, like, try to go along the edge? I do not know. 3D is an exponentially more complicated system to work with. Return a new goon for XYZ. Alright. Yeah, this was my original attempt at a factory method for entities. I've largely, not entirely, mind you, but largely abandoned that in favor of this. Wait, where is it? This factory method, which is specific to the stage entity, which I realize can become a potential issue in the future. Anyhow, what is it complaining about that we don't have now? 'Cause I see it's complaining over here. Hello? You gonna tell me? Right, the killable methods. Public void kill. Alright, what next? Respawn. PAWN. There's. I think. Right. JSON or KSON. This one is actually dangerous to leave like that, but we're doing that for now. There we go. Has to be public because that's what scope dictates. Is dead. I'll put that with the killable methods. Public boolean is dead. It cannot die. It cannot die. Anyhow, killable methods. Well, for that reason, put a little bit of space. Oh, is that all of them? Yay! Okay, we did it. Great. Alright. Can exit it, because that's all I need to do. Need to make sure this would start up here. And now we can go through all the various things, doing all the various things for all the various things that need things. Make sense? Alright, so first things first, I need to create data that represents the object. Most importantly, XYZ. So float XYZ of the so this is the entities X, Y, and Z. This dot X equals X. This dot Y equals Y. This dot Z equals Z. Okay. We'll worry about saving loading later. For now, I'm going to just get the basics going. So, this x equals x, y. All right, and then return x, y, z. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Vertical velocity. Now, if you're specifically wondering, if you're specifically wondering why I'm using floats for everything, instead of the more probably common doubles, because one, processing, and two, well, actually, it's entirely because in processing, due to how heavily it interacts with graphical systems like OpenGL and such, which don't much care for extreme precision. Yeah, everything is just in floats, and that's the way all built-in processing functions work. If they need a fractional number, that they'll just go for float instead of double. And sure, we don't need extreme precision in these situations again. So I guess so. We'll save half of the bits that we would have otherwise be using for these variables. There is, I guess, a bit of in-memory stuff. I mean, and graphically, within graphics processing, it does kind of make sense that we want to use floats instead of double, as the extra precision isn't going to affect the output too much in most situations. I mean, there are certainly some where extreme accuracy may be necessary, but the extreme accuracy is not really going to affect the graphical output much, but it is going to increase the amount of data you need to send between the CPU and the GPU, which increases the amount of time you need to spend waiting for data to transfer between the memories of the two systems, or the two devices, which does slow your GPU down. So that kind of makes sense. All right. Vertical velocity, collides with entities false in 3D. We're going to leave that as false for now. Rendering. We will need to come up with I mean, for now, 3D is not going to be rendered. Excuse me. Yeah. Yes. Oh, right. We're gonna need flow. IX, IY, IZ. These are also gonna get set, but only in the constructor. Bum bum bum. Dun 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 dun. Alright, there we go. So that's the initial variables initialized, which is important for the false. So that way we can go down here. So is dead, we would just return dead. Kill dead equals true. And respawn dead equals false, but also x equals ix, y equals iy, and z equals iz. Perhaps forcing some of this shit to be implemented in superior classes would be nice so that this stuff can't be screwed with, but as long as I'm the one developing this game, I don't think it's actually too bad an idea to necessarily have me go through and force me to manually do all the stuff myself, because it gives me more flexibility in the future with how I write shit. And if anyone wants to go through the task of writing mods for this game, because, I don't know, you're insane or something like that, yes, it's much more open and easier for you to add your own shit in. Alright. So, what is next? Let's see. The movement manager is obviously where all the AI stuff is going to be. And that's going to need its own class, more than likely. I'll have to see about that one, actually. But yeah, the movement manager is going to definitely need like its own class and stuff, which has a reference back to this class. We'll have to see. Let's just see what the movement manager I end up doing that. So that's going to come later. The hitboxes. Well, I guess hitboxes and rendering is what I should... Actually, well, okay, no. Saving and loading. Saving and loading is what I should really be doing right now. And basically everything else is done. So, JSON object data equals new JSON object. There we go. All right. Got to do the parentheses. There we go. Data's not used. Cool. But data is what we're returning. Data.set float x ix. So we go x y z I x I y I z. That's the only data we realistically need to save/load. So we are then going to have to type data.set string type goon. Yes, that should be all that is necessary in terms of saving. Loading, which is right here. We're gonna have to say x equals data.get float x, y equals data.get float y, and z equals data. Ooh, that's some formatting there. Get float z. All right, so we do that, and then ix equals x, I y equals y. That's an s. Z equals z. All right. Pretty simple saving and loading stuff here. I don't think anything else is necessary. Vertical velocity will default to 0, so we don't have to worry about that. I guess okay. The next thing I need to do is actually render the goon, and I have not really thought of what I want to do in terms of the in terms of what the actual goon looks like. Ooh, I have 2 messages on Discord. Should see what they are. Okay, that makes sense. Just JD Cole sending me something. Steam community : error. That's fun. Anyhow, I meant to go over to the interwebs to start googling what does a pixel art goon look like. Just want to see what kind of things we could be going for here. Okay, that one looks decent-ish. Okay, a lot of the images on Google here are completely unrelated. Okay, gonna open up GIMP here so that I can, or should I just use Paint? I'm gonna use GIMP. Why not? It should be fine. All right. Got it. Let's go new. Can be whatever size. Doesn't really matter. Gonna need to draw out what I kind of want this to look like. So, mind you, I'm going to have to make this out of tiny rectangles and shit. So this is going to be a much more blown up version here. So we're going to get that. Very much basing this off of what I'm seeing on my, or the image that I brought up here. Not going to show it because I can't be bothered. I'm really bad at art, by the way. Hence why the game looks the way that it does right now. Okay, we'll go get like a a black layer here. It just looks like a stack of rectangles right now that are all grayscale, which, to be fair, it kind of is. But we're gonna get into more of the skin tone-esque stuff down here. So that's kind of supposed to be like a hat. Again, I don't want to go too... That's very orange / yellow. Oh, well, I'm making this thing really large in here. Way larger than it's gonna end up being, so hold up. We're gonna select that. We're gonna shrink her down. Shrink her down. Ooh. Maybe we'll put some sunglasses on this guy in a little while, but first of all, we gotta let's see. Actually, what's the character currently look? What does the man look like here? That's, I guess, who we're gonna try to look at. Oh, I cannot speak. The thing that we're gonna try to look for most is probably gonna be that in menus where we can see. Okay, just head gets reduced to body with legs. I don't know if I'm gonna do a walking animation right now. I could definitely add that later. But yeah, we're gonna do like, and to be clear, I can't actually make this stuff all that large because in order to be like kind of realistically scaled, they should be a similar size to the player, if not small. Actually, I want them to be a bit smaller than the player. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go yoink there. Get rid of that. Gonna do some like light gray pants then. It's gonna have short, stubby little legs here. Short, stubby little legs. Alright. There we go. That looks good. So, this is going to be the sprite, or at least what the sprite's going to kind of look like for our goon person here. What would they look like with sunglasses on? Now I kind of want to see what's going on here. Do all the busy work for all the dirty work. That's what I meant. Do all the dirty work for the Soulless Corporation, as one does as a hired goon. This might make him look a little bit more like a just your average criminal. It's not supposed to be your average criminal. This is supposed to be your paid criminal here, or whatever the fuck. Your organized criminal here. Now that looks like an eye patch. Okay. Besides them being different sizes, I have to program the sprite in. So it's not going to be different sizes. That's good. Also, actually, I've been doing... Okay, this is good. I can now go start figuring out the rendering for this in the game. Oh, I have to use the localization variables as well, don't I? I really should come up with a better localized context system for rendering stuff. Oh well. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Anyhow, so the first thing we're going to do... Shit. Hit my funny bone. That's not good. Fucking stupid. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is gonna build the hat, I guess. What is the color of the hat here? Hat is 3B. Okay, calculator time. What is 3B in decimal? Programmer hex. 3B is 59. That's quite dark. Okay. 59, 59, 59. Alright, that's gonna be the hat. Okay. So we're going to do rectangle. How do I have to do this? Because, okay, so X is going to be the place position, so it's going to probably need to be, and then everything gets scaled after the fact. So it's going to be X minus, I need to preface this stuff by going into the context. Actually, speaking of the rect, I recently looked up how the rect function actually does do the rectangle rendering, and it just draws a shape that has 4 points on it automatically. That's all it does. So, yeah, pretty simple. Anyhow, X minus context.campos. I think that's the variable. Wait, is that the variable we should be using? I don't know anymore. Oh, let's go to render in physics. Right, that's not what it's called. I need to change it to render in physics because that's more correct. Draw campos X. That's the one I need to use. I could use the other one, but that one's less stable because that one's being used actively within the, or that's actively being updated in the collision algorithm or in the physics algorithm instead of here being instead of this one, which is only updated once every frame, which looks better. Okay, so multiply that times what am I doing? Bleh. Context scale. And then we basically do the same thing for y. I realize I'm just drawing this at the xy position. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make I'm gonna do something. Float local x equals unfortunately we're not gonna be able to, that's local z. Hold up. X, damn. Okay. Local x float local y. This is just for readability mostly. Local x, local y is going to be equal to this little bit, and float scale equals context.scale. That way when I start piecing shit together, it's not going to be absolutely terrible. So local x times local x, and we're going to say, what is the dimensions of the player? Hold up. Oh, this is just the hat as well. But the player is about 30 wide for the head, I think. That's the highest number I see there. So we'll go 20. Sure, why not? We'll say 20 for this. So that means it's minus 10 in each direction. Local x minus 10. Minus 10, and then this, yeah, I believe gets multiplied by scale. Then local y minus 50, let's say. I don't know. Times scale, and then we'll go 20 times scale, and how much? Let's go 5 times scale. Alright, that's the first rectangle. It's a bit of effort to get this thing drawn out, but it mostly has to do with camera and scaling. Why I have to be so thorough with this. Alright, this is now going to be minus 45. This is going to be minus... So, wait. 2.5 or 12.5. And this is going to be 25 then. And then... text.fill 255, and then we go one step further in the white band and then the black band. So the white band is going to be 15 for 30. And at 40, man, I don't know, I might need to adjust this. And then we go with the black band. Oh, yeah. Also, so for what I was briefly, it's gonna be 35 there, I guess. And 35 there, interesting. Then context. So anyhow, yeah, I was looking into, as part of the whole thing where I was looking into how does Rect work, I was kind of going through more stuff about looking into doing stuff with shaders and processing, which I did actually figure out how to actually get stuff, or how to actually do stuff. I figured it out just by looking at the default shaders, which there are a lot more of than I was expecting. What do we want to do for this? What does the player have for its color? Skin color. I think that... frick. It's a number. Go over to the calculator. Say we're going to D word here. Invalid input. Fuck. Oh, it's in hex. Wait, decimal. There we go. That is... Okay, that's a color I can work with. The reason why it's negative, though, I realized this after I figured out a way of calculating a color that turns out to kind of be wrong. But right at the same time is it's just like the first byte of the integer it's stored in, which is FF, which corresponds to a full alpha channel. But the first byte being full FF also means that the actual resultant number is negative, which I didn't realize. So that's fun. BAB, hold up. Actually, 0xBA, 0x6B. That'll... Oh, I got extra comments. That's valid. That is valid there. Okay. So that is the skin color. But anyhow, so kind of what I was partially doing with all the shader stuff is like, okay, would it be possible for me to add real, like, properly calculated 3D shadows into processing in my game, or more or less my game? And I've come to the conclusion that yes, it is technically possible for me to do it, but I need to do a lot of work in my actual game itself in order to properly get data going in all the right places to be able to generate the shadows properly. So I'm going to need to do a lot of function overriding, basically. Anyhow, this is the one that we need to copy paste. 30, I guess, is where this is at. That's a tall ass fuck hat. I guess instead of 5, we'll go 15. And then I want to see what this looks like right now. So we'll do... So in here, we'll come down to the bottom of the draw function, because I just want to do this really quick. Very down here. So we're going to do new goon of 200, 200, 0. Dot draw. Alright, let's see what this looks like. This should always be fuck. Wait, what? Not applicable for... double. Wait, why is it specifically this one that is complaining about it? Oh, because I did. Right. Standard by default, Java will interpret any decimal as a double, but of course we're doing them in floats here. I don't know why I couldn't interpret stuff properly there. Oh, draw this. Yes, you do need to actually pass the context in there. Alright, there it is. There's the goon. Oh, let's go to the main menu here. Oh, it's right. Hey, it looks like a logo on the shirt there. I did not plan that. That is amazing of how that has turned out. Absolutely brilliant. Anyhow, now we need to go and... Well, okay, we can do sunglasses later. I need to first of all do the body and legs. And then we can get to doing collision. Then we can put in the hitbox. Once we got the hitbox in, we can then go and start working on the AI. That's what I've said. Anyway, let me just make sure scaling works properly. Okay. Looks like scaling is doing everything correctly. Let's go. Alright. I'm doing this correctly, guys. Pretty gnarly draw function. So that's the hat. This is face, and that's where we'll put the sunglasses later. Shirt. So we'll context.fill. And what is the color? Okay, what's the actual color that I ended up using? Quite dark. Quite dark. It's gonna be 21, 18. Yeah, not 81. 18. 15. That is the color that we're gonna set this to, so... C, please. Thank you. Context rectangly. And we're gonna go down to approximately, probably the first one here. Gonna go down to this size. And however, we're gonna go as 30 plus, okay, so this is gonna be minus 15 here. Oh god, this is a shirt. It's gonna go down 10. Alright, that's his shirt. Legs. 88 across the board. Alright, then, ooh. I'm gonna copy paste this. This is going to be, so we went down 10. We got 5. Oof. I really should make this guy taller. Anyhow, his legs are gonna be 5 by 5. They're gonna be squares. I really should make him at least 5 taller. We might decide to go do that in a moment here. But let's see, his body was about 20 in width, so plus 5. Alright, let's see what this looks like now. His legs are definitely too square. Okay, he needs to actually be made much taller. That is a very, very tiny little, this is unscaled, or this is scaled at like 1 for its size as well. I need to double the size of his little torso and legs there. Actually, technically the XYZ doesn't matter too much what it is. We can go, I mean, you know, because this is part of the reason why the variables are so internal. All the collisions are now done based off of the hitbox that is provided here. So the XY, as long as we are consistent with how we apply XYZ internally, we don't have to worry about what it is externally. So, with that in mind, let's double the size of the shirt. It's going to be 20, so this is now going to be +5 for the legs. And each of these is going to be 10 tall. Alright, and then we can go back and add the sun. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Alright, and just for reference, this here is what I sketched out here for what the goon should look like. I mean, obviously the sunglasses can be added later. Obviously that looks pretty cool, pretty close. It's definitely going to be smaller than the player, but that's kind of ideal. These are kind of supposed to be like this game's equivalent of kind of like Mario's Goomba, except you run into them much later in the game. So that's rendering. That is rendering done though, so that's good. Create rect hitbox, and then we have x minus, how big was the head? The face was 30, so minus 15. Y minus, okay, then how far up did this thing? This went up 50. 50, then we get 30, comma, how much below? So we already had 50. We went down 15. So that's 45. No, 65. It's actually not too different to the size of the player. Alright, that in theory, oh, that's a dot, not a comma. That in theory should be the hitbox right there, all sorted out. I guess we'll figure that out, right? Actually, I'll load into a level. Ah, frick. Then we go back to the goon. Oh, the bee was probably... Anyhow. Not important. Oh, wait, no, fuck. There is an important thing we have to do. Plus the offset X. Plus the offset Y. There we go. Do have to localize the adjustment to that. I realized that we're not actually doing anything with the hitbox yet, and we still got that guy drawn there. We need to, actually, before we can get the AI going in, we need to actually, hold on, let me, oh no! Well, that's not supposed to happen. He's actually supposed to just stay there. Okay, vertically... Okay, what did I do wrong? How did I fuck that one up? Supposed to stay where he is, I realize. Not move on. Good thing I, okay, so now we'll see... Okay. Good thing I'm finding this so I can iron out this bug, this graphical bug now, before I start doing weird shit, or before it starts doing weird shit that I did not want it to. So it should just stay there. Yes, cool. It's staying there like it's supposed to, moving with the level. Good. Quit. Level 4, we start on top of a building. Oh, we're too far up. Okay. Well, there he is. Okay, good enough. We need to do all the other back-end-ish shit before I can actually get to the AI, because we need to actually be able to reliably place them into the world and then test that. So first things first is we got to register this guy with the registry. Here it is, entity registry. There we go. So, Alright, so we're just gonna take this and replace this with goon and this with goon. Alright, not goony, goon. Alright, now loading goons should be theoretically done with just this. We do need to actually go and put it into the put the goon in the toolbox window. Alright, it's way too far down here. Also right now I'm removing this shit. Remove that. Unnecessary. Alright, let me go look at the toolbox window right now. I know I have that simple entity button which is getting removed. I need the booleans. Level creator setting. Level creator, that's it. Let's go here. Let's just go here. Alright. This. I think. Because I think these are something with 3D stages, maybe? What does go here? Jeez. I don't know if you can hear that, but there are people pounding on the floor upstairs. They've been doing that a lot recently. There's something there in 3D mode. Cool. Alright, so this button is going to get repurposed to be the goon. First I gotta go do the boolean junk here. Placing simple entity. We're going to get rid of this because simple entity is not going to be placeable anymore. You'll have to hack your game files to mod in the simple entity if you really want it. It also won't be maintained, so like... Okay. So it's placing simple entity... Placing goon. We'll do that. And this will actually go into turn things off. Which is the method that is responsible for stopping you from placing random crap. Every time you click a button. Alright, so that's that. Go over to the toolbox window. Gonna just go and rename. Wow, I did name it that. We're gonna name this goon and entity. Yep, I think that should be all that we need now. There's the 1.5 million places then where I've gotten issues now because of my changing that. We're then gonna set hover text goon. There we go. Also, specifically the returning, having methods return the instance of the class that they are being called on is very useful for this situation here when I want to chain various methods next to a constructor and, you know, actually be able to set stuff up. And I use this a lot here for the button because I don't want to have infinite combinations of constructors for the buttons. We already have too many and then have to remember the order for everything. Instead, just being able to add extra methods on, like setting the stroke weight, the hover text. It's probably something else that I'm not thinking about right now. That's very, very useful there. Anyhow. Yes. So we place this right in there. Alright. There's a million other places that I have to change the name of this button now. I'm going to quickly go through changing all the places where the actual button itself is being is screaming at me over it, and then we can go take placing goon and put that in the place of everywhere else that's screaming at me about various things here. Alright. It's no longer temporary. Yay! The lack of temporalness. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. Yeah. Just Oh, I just realized I do have to go back. I did not finish my button replacements there. Goon entity. I don't know how I've made this such a complicated mess in the toolbox. Maybe I should go back and try to revise how everything's written in the toolbox. That might also revise its look. Now I need to find where the heck I'm using this to do stuff. Ah. Wait, crap. Wait. Oh. There is another file where I'm going to now have this issue. There it is. Placing simple entity. Replace that with... No, not goon entity. Placing the goon. So entities that add new goon here. With all the appropriate arrangements. Should do... Okay. Everything should now be implemented into the process for the entity to actually be made existent, saved, and loaded. So... Oh, I've got a notification on my phone. What is this? It's just Google Photos, goddammit. 2 years ago today. Hold up. Oh. Wow, that was 2 years ago today? Damn. Okay. I was briefly looking at the image like, what the fuck is that? I was like, oh, that's what that is. Wow, that was 2 years ago. Holy crap. Anyhow. Can't believe that was very end of April, almost the beginning of May. Say, what is it? It's the 28th today. We need to go to Entities 2D and move the player over here. Right, we have the simple entity over here. Or if we press play, it's going to start bumping around and stuff. But now... Ooh, that's a lot of errors! What did I do wrong? Null pointer exception somewhere. I've done something wrong. Very, very wrong, guys. Well, I guess I should look at that then before it starts, before my game lags out too hard here or anything like that. But yeah, look, hey! More importantly, though, look, it's here's the actual player size comparison. Oh, a little bit shorter, but a lot of that's the hat. Anyhow, what am I getting this? Movement is null. Right, you're not supposed to... Okay, physics would be broken then. But you're right, you're not supposed to send in a null movement manager. You're supposed to send in a no movement manager if you don't want it to do physics. Duh. Well, I think that's just all there is. It's all when it's trying to check jumping. Cool, well, that kind of leads us on to what we're doing next. Which is going to be... new tab, goon, M-O-V-E-M-E-N-T, manager.java. We're going to actually make the movement manager for this guy. Class, goon movement manager, extends. Hopefully that's correct. Yeah, looks like it. Okay. Okay. Public boolean left. Just gonna return false. Left, right. Boolean jump. And what's the final one? Reset. Oh, right. I do not... Oh, there's another one. In. Oh, right, in and out. That's right. And then there's going to be out. Alright. That's everything the movement manager technically needs here. Okay, so this is where the AI for the goon is gonna end up living. But yes, this thing is going to have stuff. I don't know when it should... Trying to think of when the movement manager here should actually attempt to update its movement status. Should it do that on a frame? But that could mean that the entity could kill itself at a particularly inopportune frame rate. Should it do it some other time? But these functions are going to be called repeatedly. Well, I guess like left and right. One of these is going to be called. So maybe when it calls left or right is when it should recalculate its movement stuff. Obviously, reset is the method that will set all the values to false. But yeah, it's going to need. Ooh. It's going to need a reference to the goon. So we'll do this quickly. We'll do this. This goon. Yep, we'll do that. And then we'll go to this class, which is the one that we're actually doing. Yep. We'll make a goon movement manager equals new of this. All right. We'll do that. All right. So goon movement manager MM is that. So then we can just return the movement management system there. So they have references to each other in case it's necessary. Like checking if it's dead. Actually, kill is going to have to probably do mm.reset. And so is, I guess, respawn will also reset it, just in case it wasn't dead when it got respawned. So there's that. But yeah, then the movement manager is responsible for determining the actual actions and movements of the entity. So, okay. Okay, I'm trying to think of what I should try and do now. Or how... Okay, so this is the actual part where we try to do the AI. So actually, to start with, let's make sure it doesn't get that error anymore. Well, we're an hour in and we're finally getting to the AI section. Wow. So this should just fall if we turn on physics here in entities 2D. So we'll move the player here. We'll turn on physics here. And goon. Fuck, it's still giving errors. It's not completely killing physics though, that's interesting. Well, I suppose I should see what these errors... Oh, it just did one. Wait, what? Concurrent modification exception? Okay, I feel like we might have to go down a bit of a rabbit hole now because I was not expecting to get this error. Check for... Okay. Array list. Player physics. No. Ooh. What do we have here? And why did we concurrently accept the... Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay, I think I know what the solution to this is. So this is a very annoying error. I mean, you can get it from time to time. It theoretically is harmless, as it'll cause a single failure, I guess, when you place something in this instance. But it'll only fail once. And I've actually experienced this issue before, so where is it that I'm looking for? Let's scroll down further. Here we go. Nope, nope. Okay, player physics. Here it is. One of these, and I'm pretty sure it's this inner loop here. Oh, we do all the stages at once. Okay. This here for loop is the issue here. Specifically, this exception here is thrown because this thread was iterating through this collection, and at the exact same moment when we ended up adding an item to that collection. So yeah, and then that caused the exception. So it's a really dumb error. I don't like it. And yeah, so the easiest way to fix this would to be just not use an enhanced for loop in this situation, which should be pretty easy. So I guess I will just do that. I hope we're not inside of a for loop. No, we're not. Okay, so int I equals 0, I is stage entities dot size I plus plus. Because this sort of for loop where you're manually iterating through it does not actually incur that. It will actually gracefully handle adding a new entity to it. Now, theoretically, removing an entity in the middle of this loop could cause issues. It'll either cause an entity to be skipped for this physics frame, which isn't the biggest of deal, or it'll get an index array out of bounds exception, which, similar to this, is a thing we could have, but that's not going to happen nearly as often as this. Every single time this would be iterating and an entity happens to be added to the stage. So stage entities get I. That should fix that issue. All right, now on to doing AI things. Actually, I have to figure it out. Because I realized the movement manager does not have a reference, and it's probably for the best that it doesn't have a reference to this class, or to the main class here, because the movement manager won't need it. Actually, let me just go back to my entity here. Where does it, because it's not supposed to necessarily save an instance of the main class anywhere. Like, it gets passed in the main class as a context here for rendering purposes. And so that has access to all the things it needs for rendering. But that's the only time it should really be interacting with it. Now, this is potentially a bit of an issue because I kind of want to actually do collision detection in this movement manager. And that And the problem is that is going to want to have a link to these methods here. So what am I going to do with that? Because specifically entity collide for both 3D, for both the second and third dimension. I'm thinking of I've definitely used the Boolean version of this. Or not entity collide, level collide even. Level collide, which requires the hitbox from the entity itself. That's easy. We're gonna have that. Oh, but then it also It also then wants the stage that the entity is a part of. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do this so that these methods can be properly accessed. Because an entity only exists on one stage, so Oh, this is a challenging. I mean, there's several ways that I could fix this issue. I just want to think of what could be the best one that I could use. Because I could do all a bunch of unsafe stuff. Just be like, okay, we'll just pass everything around like I usually do. But what I want to do was, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to probably create a separate class that will have private references, or that will have a private reference to the main class here, just to access this method and this method. But stage, but it's going to, so what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to get the, this is gonna be a bit inefficient, but what that class will need to do is they'll need to go into all the stages and look for which stage has the given entity the movement manager has passed to this, because it'll get a hitbox. And then, I guess, the entity itself. Because the entity can theoretically carry stage information. Because getting the stage okay, I'm set on most of that, but getting the actual stage information is the tricky part here. Because there are a couple ways I could do this. One of the ways I could just do this is I could just give the entity to the, I could give the entity to the function, and then the function could do is it could just loop through all the stages, checking to see if that entity specifically exists inside of the entities collection on each of the stages. That's incredibly inefficient. The other thing I could theoretically do is I could figure out a way to where the entity class, not entity, stage entity class, actually will have like a private. Ooh, this is simple entity, not stage entity. So here would have like a private field for the actual stage, and then yeah. So this would have, I guess, a private field for the stage itself. And I guess there'd be a final method in here, get stage. But the problem with that is, I guess we could put a constructor in here that requires a stage as an intake to set it. But then the problem still becomes, where do I send in a stage to get this thing a reference to it? So obviously, if we're in stage, where is it? There it is. So if we're in stage, obviously in the loading process here, it's not too much of a stretch to just add in, besides the JSON object, the actual stage object itself to pass into all this. But beyond that, beyond that, I would also then have to manually pass the stage in anytime I create the entity manually, which would theoretically be an annoyance, or the only real situation where I could see that as being annoying is right here where we add stuff to the registry. We could always put null there because it wouldn't ever actually use the stage. The whole point of these entries here, or these registry entry things here, is just to have an object that we can use the factory method on that is of the correct subtype. So think about how I'm going to do that. First, I'm going to quickly hop away to the bathroom, and I will be right back. Alright then, let's get cracking on this process. So I guess the first place that we have to go to start modifying things is the stage entity. Stage entity class here, where we're going to actually have something here. So we're going to have a first thing we're going to have is a private stage. We're going to have a constructor that will therefore need to be used, and it's just going to be simple. Just stage equals stage. All right, and then public final stage gets stage. Okay, there's that. Then create is going to need to have that in it. And then the other create method. Yeah, the other create method unfortunately will not. So the the other create method that's just a position. I don't know if I'm ever actually using that anywhere, but that one won't be able to get or we won't be able to necessarily modify that. Because it's public, we can't. Can we reduce the scope? I don't think we can, though. No, you can't reduce scope yet, because that would break everything. Let's hold a stage editor here. Yeah, I don't use that anywhere, though. I could consider removing that. So anyhow, stage entity. Okay, so what we're going to do. Okay, I'm not going to mess with the other constructor then. Or the other factory method, as that one will not really work with our worldview here. Can't really rewrite that factory method to now require a stage because that's from entity. So it'll just have to be put in as null then. Alright, so then we can go into the entities that I created, which would be goon in the other one. So here, these constructors are no longer valid. So we're gonna need stage there. And we're gonna need a super stage. A super stage. Alright. So that's going to be necessary for both of those, which means that we're going to have to rewrite the create method here to also require stage to require that, and then the other create method just gonna have to pass null in there. Because of this. Alright, that should be what we need to do from this entity's perspective. The simple entity is going to need that then. Simple entity. Alright. Stage, super stage. And then... Wait, no, hang on. That one. These are in a different order than I was expecting. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's how I did the loading. Okay, I did the loading in the create method here instead of a constructor. Well, that's one way of doing it now that I think about it. Yeah, I guess the constructors do the exact same thing. It's just one loads and the other just sets. Alright, I could also just use this. Anyhow, I'm not going to be too worried about that. Because that should be theoretically all this done. Here we can just simply slip a null into the into those, and then in stage editor we have to put is that, yeah, okay, so can put current into that, and then the only remaining place that should be an issue is stage itself, where we just pass in this. That's supposed to be there. Alright, everything good now? Everything's good. Alright, so then we need the class with all of its static stuff. So Entity Collision Manager, I guess, is what I will call it. So new tab. Or stage entity manager. That is a really long name. Anyhow, so the point of this here is that we're going to have a private static skinny man source. Of course, there's only one n there. Source, and then we're gonna have public void set. This does not feel very good there. Is that valid? Source 2. I just realized that little loophole in Java there, because this refers to the current instance of the object. If you need to set a static, if you're in a static method and you need to set the value of a static field, but it's named exactly the same thing as one of the parameters from the method that you're writing, well, you're kind of shit out of luck there. Oh well, anyhow. So what we're going to do is we're going to have public static boolean boolean. Actually, hold up, we gotta do level collisions. Here we go. Level collide. This, and then we go up to, oh, what is it? Oh, it's gonna be all the way down in S, stage entity collision manager. Level collide hitbox 2D, stage entity entity. So return source dot level collide with hitbox comma g dot get stage. That should theoretically be valid, and I can just copy paste this, but change this to 3D. and should work exactly the same way. Let me just go back to the stage entity. So I guess I lied. There is one variable that the stage entity or that the stage entities get, which is just a reference to the stage, but it's private, so no one else can do stuff with it. I mean, I guess there's the get stage, but you know that's necessary. Anyhow, because that is not static, or because the existence of this class is purely into static stuff, we can then go into where is it? Goon. The next one. This one. Goon Movement Manager. And we can do recalculate MOVE. And then that there is the method that we need to call to check for any collisions. So, alright, we've once again, after half an hour, circled back to the point where we're now actually ready to start doing AI things. Man, I didn't realize how much boilerplate surrounding stuff we were going to need to do any of this. So, alright, first things first. Gonna go left, right, jump, in, out. Gonna create booleans for each of these. I doubt that we're gonna be doing any jumping though. Or at least not intentionally. So left, right, jump, in, out. It's also nice that Java allows you to name variables and functions the same things without getting them confused, because in C, that's a no, 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 no. Actually, I have to look. What is the first thing that the collision, or that the physics algorithm actually checks if is happening? All right. Let's go to physics. Level collisions. Alright, what is the very first thing at the top of this algorithm that it actually calls in terms of a check? Because we're going to use that call to recalculate. Right, okay, right is the first one that it does. So before we respond with whatever value we get for doing right, it only does call right once per physics frame on each thing. So what we're going to use a call to right to first of all recalculate all of our movements, which will then set everything. First thing I'm going to say is if goon dot is dead. Or so, first of all, it'll only actually do shit if goon is not dead. If they're dead, we don't do anything. Then what we're going to need to do is, I guess we check if they're, okay, so if not goon dot is 3D. Actually, no. We're going to just do a thing on goon here. Goon itself is going to actually have a Boolean property in 3D, which is going to be equal to false for now. That will be the property we use here. Well, that will theoretically be the we're gonna just return that property here. It's always false. It's never being set to true for now. But in case we ever do set it to true, we are going to do the physics properly for all, or we're going to do the movements properly for all situations. So if goon dot in 3D, or wait, hang on, what was it called? Oh, I'm right. Oh, right, that's why we can't use this. We're just going to we're going to use the variable, not the method here. I know it's generally bad form, but like in this situation, it's just what we're going to do. As long as we're not in 3D, then we're going to say if we are moving right, we'll go to the right. So if right, else if left, else that. All right, so this is going to be our 2D movement structure here. If we are moving to the right, do calculations in one set of things. If we're moving to the left, do calculations for different sets of things. And otherwise, we are just going to start heading right. So if neither of them are true for whatever reason, so probably you got reset, we're just going to set that to, we're just going to start moving right. So now that we're on to the moving right stuff, we need to, or the primary focus of moving right is to determine whether or not we should stop moving right and move left. And the way we're going to do that is with collision detections. So, I guess there's two detections that I want to do. So first of all, if yoink this, if that of goon.get, and I'm just going to copy the method name. Where is it? Get hitbox 2D. Goon.get hitbox 2D for, let's go 2 tiles in front, and no offset. Goon. Alright, so if that's, so if there is a wall in front of the, if there is a wall in front of the entity, then we are going to say that right equals false, or okay, and left equals true. That's how simple the first thing is going to be. We go forwards. If we hit a wall, we switch directions, and then we're done. Oop, too many ends. And then we're done recalculating the movements. However, if there was not a wall there, we also need to check if you're going to fall off something. So we're going to then do this exact same situation. We'll have the exact same outcome as it returns. Or as it returns. As it turns out. Dang. Okay. But this time, instead of just checking in front of you, we're also going to check down. Now, in particular, we want it to theoretically be able to go up and down slopes. So actually, I will need to modify this thing in a moment. Ooh, that actually may, now that I'm thinking of how this might work, it might actually prevent the... We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, the way the auto step is currently work. That's definitely how you speak English, yes. Or the way auto step is currently working is it'll just try to see if it can go up to 10 pixels at a time, which I know is way too high. So, for that reason and that reason alone, we're going to first of all check, or actually, so this is going to be an inverted here, right? We're going to check 10 tiles, or 10 pixels down beneath the thing. And actually, we'll go 9. So if there's nothing 9 pixels worth beneath the entity, so if there is a cliff in front of front of the... So if there is a cliff in front of the entity, then we will turn around. And likewise, actually, we'll have to check upwards. Now the problem with this is that a low ceiling for the entity... Okay, the problem with this is that a low ceiling will probably... The problem with this is that a low ceiling will probably... Actually, no, here we're gonna do another one. So there's that, and then... Okay, so if there's a wall there, then we will check if there is a wall... So if there's a wall there, but is not a wall 9 up, there we go, then we can return. But there is not a wall 9 units up. So, okay, so if there's a wall in front of the entity, but there's not a wall 9 units up, then we can change this stuff and return. Or if the entity ends up being on a cliff, we can turn them around. Wait. Actually, no, wait. Okay, we want to do it like this. Sorry. So if there's a wall in front of the entity and there is still a wall 9 units up. All right. There we go. That is all we need to... Okay, that is actually a good chunk of the AI done right now. So now we can take all the shit I just did for right there and use it for left. This is also another reason why I wanted to redo the collision algorithm, is so that each entity can make its own calculations like this without seriously causing performance issues. Anyhow, left, we just have to negate the x-axis there. And yeah, now we can test it, I guess. And of course, then the third condition for the right, left, and just not currently moving, try actually moving. Levels, UGC, damn it. Level creator's where I want to go. Alright, that wasn't too hard of an AI to make, actually. Okay, we'll plop the player over here. Plop down our little goon here. And error. Alright, what's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. I did a thing, but I didn't do the thing well. This. I never gave this a reference to source. I have a method in this class entirely dedicated to setting the various things that need a reference to this class. See if I can find it just by scrolling through stuff here. Oh yeah, you did. Look at that. Set this. Alright. Now we'll try. Now we'll try this and see if it works. It's a bit of an oversight there. Okay. Level creator this time. Let's go. Let's go. Test things. Test things. Okay, we'll spawn in an entity. Move the player over here so that we can actually play and watch stuff. And go. Yay, it works! Oh, I forgot I had stuff on. Okay. I'm just thinking, what if I want to add a way to change the speed of an entity? Because this guy's walking, you know, at player speeds here, which is realistically quite fast. Okay, I should stop trying to keep evasive. It's clearly working here. It's clearly able to move back and forth just fine. Avoiding the edge of this cliff here, which is good. So it's pretty competent at avoiding death, which is what I wanted. But can it do other interesting things, like walk up a slope here, for instance? And I have no way... Oh, I did not turn on grid mode, damn it. Okay. Alright, this time we'll, so can it walk up this slope? Oh no! Oh no! Okay, crap. Gravity is what's giving it an issue here, I believe. It's not that it is necessarily having... I mean, it's definitely having issues, don't get me wrong. Might shake itself loose here at some point. But the issue with it is definitely that the gravity is not pulling it down necessarily fast enough for it to realize what's going... Oh, man. I do want to maybe make entities move a bit slower, though. Because I think this is very fast to have them moving at the speed of the player. I guess I'll make that change quickly then. Then maybe I'll have it search a little bit farther down for ground that it thinks it can walk to. So, yeah, that's it. Okay, first step is we go to level collisions. What is this offset stuff here? Is this actually... Hang on, do I ever use the offset here? Oh, no, I do, right. And new position. Right, it's used for the new position. Okay. We go to the top here. So I'm going to reduce the speed at which... Yeah, I'm going to reduce the speed at which entities move for now. As long as it's not a player. So if it's a stage entity, it'll move slower, I guess. Here. So we're going to say times entity instance of stage entity question mark 0.2 colon 0.4. Alright, so that should be sufficient to reduce the movement speed to half of what it was for an entity, but keep the player's movement speed identical. Those are the only two times I have to modify there. Gravity is going to remain the same constant for everyone, because it's gravity. As in real life, gravity does not change depending on who you are or what you are. Gravity is a constant acceleration, which it is here as well. So we're following the laws of physics there. But movement speed is definitely controllable here. And it also is just a constant if you are or aren't moving. But now it is based off of whether you are a stage entity or not. So stage entities should move at half the horizontal velocity of players now. I might change that later so entities can define their own speed or have the option to. The goons up here. Alright, actually the goon movement manager is what we want to be on. Let's go 11 for down. Up can still be 9, but down is going to be 11. Alright, let's see what these changes do. Because mind you, and hopefully this is successful. If this is successful, mind you, then I have to do one other... Then the next thing that we're working on here is we have to work on the player's interactions with these entities. Because I realize... yeah, the player needs to die in general contact with the entity. But if you're like jumping on top of them, you know, crushing them, they need to die. Again, kind of like a certain red plumber or red-shirted blue overalls wearing plumber by a specific Japanese company. As he was in the air, he was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go." All right. That's not what I wanted. This one. Okay. So just let that bounce back. Crap! It's still doing it. No, this is with half movement speed, mind you guys. Wait, this didn't work. It's still moving the same speed as me. What the heck? Thought I just reduced its speed. Hang on, did I reduce all speed then? Or what the heck? Did that not work? Hang on. I need to now go into the game and just check. Did I just break the game by significantly decreasing the movement speed of the player? I don't think I did though. Which is why I'm so confused now. Frick. Well, I mean, me being not too good at my own game is... Well, it's definitely something. Damn. I should actually look at the game itself while I'm playing it, and that might make it a little bit easier. Let's see. Yeah, and just looking at OBS right now, which is what I'm otherwise doing. Mind you, I'm looking at the bitrate specifically because the bitrate of the stream is maxing out when I'm playing this here at 2,000 kilobytes per second about. Which isn't too big of a surprise. 2,500 kilobytes. That's not really all that big a surprise, considering that this game is very simple texture-wise. It's like all flat colors in rectangles, which is probably really easy to compress or to encode, even. Encoding is compression, realistically. Where do we have it? Okay, I think the slowdown just didn't do anything, which is annoying because I wanted them to go much slower. Come on. I guess it's not too big a deal, but it just means that they get really antsy about going downhill on the slope, which isn't the worst, but still. Oh, that's why actually. It's probably working. If I actually slowed them down. How did I do that? That is quite impressive that I didn't do that. And no one out there noticed that I put the same value for both of them. Okay, now we'll test it again. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm today going to do the whole player killing the NPCs thing. But I can definitely do the player gets killed by the NPC, and I'm gonna probably... How am I gonna do that? That's also a question. Because again, the player or the entity does not directly have access to the player. I'm probably going to need that collision manager to be involved. Then, all right. Oh yeah, much better in terms of speed. As you can see, this entity is now moving very slowly, but I can easily beat this guy in a drag race here. Oh yeah, get screwed, buddy. Anyhow. I made this world. I made everything in it. Basically quite literally at this point. Alright, there's a slope. Can you success this? Goes up. And he goes down! Let's go! I got slopes working, guys. Because I just slowed him down, basically. That's the solution. He goes over, he's like, oh, that's enough. And he goes back. Whoop, whoop. Let's then test that... they can continue to descend. This is a steeper slope, and we'll see if they like that. Nope, they do not like that steeper slope. It will go up it, but it will not go down. Okay. Let's delete it then. And we'll build the slope out. Build it out to there. Should go, I think it might go up that. You might not want to go back down. Yep, no, he's stuck on this thing now. Actually, can we get him stuck here? Because still very sensitive. I probably should just make him look a little bit further down. That would be realistically the solution here. There we go. Now he's capable of going up and down and up and down. Or actually, I should limit the steepness to which they can actually climb. I don't actually know what the because this slope is good, but a bit steeper than this, it might not like. Actually, we can go test out how steep it'll like. So, boop. Okay, that worked. Gonna go one steeper than that. It likes that currently, and this is all due to slower movement speed. Yeah, that one's fine. Let's try this. Oh, it's still willing to go down there. Actually, it's willing to go down really far right now, actually. It's almost all the way down to the bottom, and then it's like, let's not. Surprised what it's actually willing to go down right now. Before it gets towards the bottom and... There it is. Okay, this slope is the slope that he doesn't like to go up, apparently. Alright, let's measure it here then. Boop. Boop. Each of these tiles is 10 units, I believe. Glad I have this visualizer here. That makes things so much easier. It did have some glitches at one point, though. Okay, well, as long as we're doing that, that should be fine then. Alright. Now it's got a little bit of a longer space to move back and forth on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Anyhow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 24 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 up, 24 over. That's 5/8 slope. So... Interesting. 5/8. So it doesn't like to go up, or it doesn't like to go down a slope that is at least 5/8, or as a slope of 5/8. Let's see, what's that? 0.625. So what I should do then is go to the movement manager. It's going to be around here. Whoa, I selected that exactly. And for when it checks its ceiling... Oh, that's why. I was checking that. Oh, let's try... It's actually set down to 11. And... Oh, hang on. Hang on a second. Hang on. Maybe I was just mistaken. Anyhow, 6.25 is how much I could otherwise be checking for moving upwards. Tutorial level crit. Why am I blanking on this? Okay, I think I'm just gonna finish the AI here and then be done because it's getting a bit late here. It took a little bit longer than I was expecting to do literally everything but the AI. Now that we're actually doing the AI stuff, which is what, hey, that's what I titled the stream. Okay. Okay. Okay, pretty standard. Basic, basic, basic. Alright. Okay, wait for it to go by. Alright, now let's see how it handles this slope. Okay, it handles this slope. That's pretty good. Let's try a steeper slope. It will be realistic here. Okay, no. It still doesn't like this one. What is this one at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 0.6. That's a slope of 0.69. So yes, I think that, I mean, the correction is definitely good. Oh, now I'm stuck down here. Oh, he can go up and over that if he wants to. It's this one that he doesn't like. Anyhow, so what we're going to do here is for the up check, we're going to prevent it from going up these corresponding slopes. So 6.25 is what we will do for its vertical check. And so fucking hell. Floatagers, please. And so we'll now use... It should now prevent him, theoretically, from going up slopes. Or from attempting to go up slopes that are steeper than he's willing to go down. In theory. Alright. Move over this way. They should... Actually, no, that wouldn't change anything. Never mind. There's the goon. Here's the player. And here's them running. Alright. Alright, it's the actual movement now. Alright. Will it go up this now? And it goes down this. Okay. Actually, right. It did that last time as well. Alright, steeper slope. No, I did not crack the case. It's like, I don't know where to go. I'm at the top. We'll just see 0.6. And, yeah, and then I'll leave that there for now. So, while I'm getting back there, yeah, I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. So, I'm going to have to then say thank you so much for watching, if you're, whoever's out there. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like on the stream on your way out. And, you know, consider subscribing for more content. I don't know when the next time I'm going to stream is, as, you know, semester is basically over. Stuff's going on. But I will continue to develop this game, and hopefully in like 3 weeks-ish, hopefully, around May 20-something, I will hopefully actually have this update fully out. So I'll look forward to that. But if you want to check out the game then, or the current version of the game, you can check it out at the link in the description. And yeah, I guess I will see you all in the next thing I do. Bye.